board for you now. Mutual.
Part of the decision making. Supreme Court said, MAHAMA, Supreme Court and Cassa, obeying a contact the article 66 clause 2, 1992 Constitution. I can say, obey me a court 2 times to say, what transfer in fear 9. If you want a bomb back, was it what says a constitution interpret what you tell me and say, Obi court not or some baby and also no a crown hospital couldn't pay this one. You are Supreme Court, Supreme Court and can't. Someone put it on the MAHAMA the first time, and 4 times, I said 2 times then. What about the second time? That's also if you cut the 2 times of the that we 4 years. Now another 4 years. 8 years. And also the rubber consider no. Also as the Supreme Court said. One can say 2 times. It is supposed to say, oh, buy and I quite a house buy. Now, I go for cancer, obedient search a video. Because member rain for I saw for Rebecca said, I was a John Durant MAHAMA president. Almost at this agenda, I said, obeying a copy of man could be and I hold some to say, a lawyer from you, a simple young margin, a fast constitutional interpretation, constitutional, and some can a fast 2 times I can also. Lawyer William Kusi, Union Chambers, Rabba Kayansa, lawyer Dominic Binya Archer, Okudeto, and Ebedi and Koyan Sebedi are growing enough for your share to take a chance and also a woman. Now, man, Beya, exactly no, and so as so. Now, not point Tadum, Yane, lawyer, Yansakano, Yano, and Monasi, and free Hanamon. Lawyer William Kusi, and you know, Yamwajuma Kaba about better TV and radio over UK, London, Abontenso. That main kite was Italian as we say and can't just say for man of bride now on church or no more at the end of the lawyer you know more. Hello, lawyer to me. Hello, lawyer, what do you mean? Hello. Yeah, try say. You be not lawyer William Kusi. Now you know I said you come on as our Hanamo and lawyer out to make a major. Yeah, try say lawyer William Kusi now. If you don't know, I said what you should not say that. If you have a sense of that, or said that empty and can I feel the say komono ase because komono na nyime komono ede komono ede pa eno ne ansamo a eda ho no mo ye hwe se binya lawyer kusi enno ahase lawyer good evening.
Good evening.
La na ba tibia boko de
Yesu adom bia boko
ye de yankoba se busa for ne lawyer William kusi Dominion Chambers ewo Kumasi Ghana anyumre yi na ye no bo enkomo ye hwe se ye kwani no ebinya ne nua lawyer Dominic Brenyans o kire so abeka ye ho na afia totwa adwen na ya hwe se na enima esiko lawyer na Ghana tse na anyumre yi.
Oh, Ghana the din MPP for na to omma and sem kakra BCC.
Ya who say Bantama the si ho na basabasa ye course omato abato ato you say basabasa bi esisa but ene the chiza my suppose for crachi mi ensa bi wom in generally obeka ne say MPP for mo election mo tunu na across the country no obeka ne say
It's disappointing and unfortunate. Now, it has started long ago because court via case or court for injunction and other reliefs. Constituency via our court for injunction or other reliefs. So, and TMA, and they said they are not ready to allow the provisions in their constitution to work. Especially polling station election, they want to pinpoint and select their own people when the law says that vote. So, and then I in so the polling station the issue about constituency elections. I am sure that there's not much. I say album no, I am be constituted. No, I am the two way, and that is where the problem is. I am a yes MPP for opposition. Na omatimi ato abanya 41% from government. No mutimi ntrase anhwe why the fair shot. I mumbedu be omodu na still no. Omufi said the omoye na no some year. It's very unfortunate and it doesn't sound wise for anybody to do that.
Oh, okay. Very serious. Now, going forward, you know, say Omato Abewie, then say Bantama, for instance, the chairman, the MP, they were very good of friends. They were very best of friends. Now, then I see, say chairman de Abanako court. Now, Omobu court and Mutia in Johnson Daso. Now, my fetch that I got to Abano. Then I say, am I no. But the enemy take a sabato Muntamia or more airquin.
So, in chairman, not just the illegal practice now be added in the Pabanom that former abominable. And no bina, but chairman didn't crop of by no, or man for man, or you move for him. What you say?
Yeah.
The illegal practice whereby they nominate people for the polling station executive. I know what say you for Sebra, for Sebra. Amu and the chairman, you're the Kurama for Yajuma,
Oh, okay.
And in any other. And to say if they were going to be fair and going to go according to the constitution, all these things will not come.
I do not chairman MPR na be Eddie Bukata Mekasa Raf the last 4 years the been so.
Pepe.
And I feel
you can nominate your Muko. Someone said they made sure and say, Sani a man counting 41%. And that can the papa more. And they are bad this time I will reorganize you. We will not repeat that same mistake. The near Brescia power. Yes, the same mistake, but because they had the opportunity and went and tested power and had money, no officer over their dead body say by the right in the the send no more Santanas. General Secretary was so disappointing because you see the number of complaints and Yaman officially. I want to manage it will be sad if MPP would him back to the office of the General Secretary.
I lawyer, secretary nko adwuma say your party ni na adwuma wana because me ne interview wa ha
about
am o ka kire me say wa obeye bibia tia obi a o de party be court no on ka say munyim rafie obema court no decide because say o si obi ne say wan fa kwampa so si no o court a party no emegina party na ti bi o say e party ntimdi ye ko ya be kan fie no there's a court to decide ya court be decide o money they will side the court.
That is not enough. What do you say?
Okay.
Several people have called him. Wakajom so called a idiot. Mafia will do so you know. Is that leadership? That's not leadership. MP, I believe, say be a complaint H there were. Send your men to the ground to find out is it true that is happening? It's happening in Nigeria, and eventually, because the MP was strong, they sent people from Accra to make sure so the election was conducted the right way. Nancy report to man where you were. As I want to hear 2 years, when he resign from the party because of these things. 41% in the person resign. Mubaka say.
And go for resign after election, you know.
Papa, yes.
How?
Those who were disenfranchised, though, they resign. A biaba my office some buafu. What does it? And if he said they didn't manage the thing well at all.
Oh, okay. Now, okay. So, lawyer, for instance, say about what year mafia wom. It is or kasa. Onya to me say. Also, we also so you know say these things are bound to happen in elections. You know, so when you're prepared that. So these are some of the things that could have happened. Also, mentally, we are strong. We never.
Daddy, me know you better make a selection the mafia, but General Secretary to me, Kasa, he's there to enforce the laws and the guidelines that has been given for the elections. What do you mean, Kasa? For instance, so be petition by officer, you have to work on the petition. And Kasa, mafia, mutu de jai. Sorry that you know. Oh yeah, what do man? Now I say mafia, who ya appointed General Secretary. I don't know for Bianco. He should have taken steps, sanctioned people. Never go with the party in Penisa. Okay, I say, Bakuna, ye lose ye. People wrote petitions, they didn't do anything about it, and eventually conducted the election. According to Baumia, 2 million MPP people did not vote. What was the reason? The reason was quite simple.
Yes.
That they were agitated and that they felt that they had been cheated. Yes. And the lessons, these were some of the reasons why some of us were advocating, say, any card-bearing member in good standing should be allowed to vote. That delegate system, you free her, and the peace member party.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, but not lawyer. I didn't catch it on. What did I catch it on? Some complaints.
I have issued processes for some of them. You see, we have also done petitions because your constitution now. I say the first step is to write a petition.
Yes.
And but no response. So that's here. No response. At the end of the day, you have to issue a rate against them. Because the party MPP, yes, of the Abontin and MPP Beko, is also a member of the MPP. Yeah.
Also, because by a party opposition there, rebuilding and yet easy, and never will not be see. Now, only sure, sir. Bibi way na be say we no omu na betuna ka bomba akona omo afoje ahead na akoka say de omoni mu no omo ahwe so mbo tuma akokon sa akon
ba akona omo afoje ahead so ba afoje ahead they were reduced to 41. What do you say? And you know it is not correct when anybody says is there they will forge ahead after the election. Why do you create the problem and try to solve it later? Why do you create a problem and believe that you can solve it later? It doesn't work that way. And you have to abandon taking steps. I'm minimizing, like you said, some of these things are bound to happen, but they should be minimal. And yes, widespread, baby, Empinana airport money, your friend is an album. Chairman Samimpine. In the case of Quadaso, Chairman is a committee at you, also they are alleged to have conducted an election. And the Samani court, I represented him. Onimushi. What do you say?
Wow.
And how a party which has been around from 92, claiming and boasting to be a democratic, a pacesetter of democratic practices. How can we be doing this?
And lawyer, so when I'm hearing now, the MPs trying to protect their seats, and
national officers, MPs, or Miade Wanyani share, or national officers. Yes, any no top to bottom about Umia to win. That was to protect Baumia. Now it is the 10 of the national officers who did that for him. And so this is what is unfolding. So, and it's not just the MPs, but the national officers as well. Now, MPR to a tier, and I say MPR, winning by a small margin. Probably your next tenor will be worse for you. And we should be careful and allow the most popular to go. And give you an opportunity to win. And the other idea,
who suspected independent candidates a bear magic senior last time nana senior canqui.
Oh, by all means, senior. Osha, Dominic and the Japan, you could say, and I'm winning.
No, as a party, a Munamo party, you know. A bus, I saw some Muslim Tumbi. And go for Bamoho, some more process or more and all that. So, then I want to bet me more partners.
We intervene and tell the other side, say, please, know what is right. What do I say? Last me call now, Obi Dimatem, one of the constituency executive officers, yeah, call Papa Penny Washington, and I'm saying, Massa, Mugu party, you don't know. This conduct is killing the party. MPP, this time, NDC is more decent than MPP. You are destroying your own party. Now, I have my example. Someone says CPP. Whoever thought CPP would be like this? Whoever thought? And to also the CPP lesson that tomorrow NPP can be nothing. And do your officer, they show us make sure you protect the sanctity of everything that we do. Let's share my fairness. All of those contestants, you may have your favorite, but those people should win by due process, not by any mafia. Where's the good party?
No, Mahu MPA. On massage album, I did better on Moswaba. In fact, I did better more to map on a crown where you go for the album will be before the same. And so, not or lose primaries. One young to Musa and go for my imagine or mobile mafia, no, now margin or Mungo forum, most of them can even lose their seats.
The okay exception. Exception. In fact, it is the general rule is that yes, I'm moving. What do I say? Okay. The general exceptional cases where they do that by the end of the day, they are voted against. How many can you count like that? And you know, I deliberate. Now, if you say it is devoid of wisdom because at the end of the day, I have power near pay. Now, see a power. Now, they are by a power. Now, so by a dear. Nothing to be. If you're not a baby, you have to think about how the consequences of the actions we are taking today. I tell what if the base in car.
So
it is mopping up. It is mopping up.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Now, so much you near to our way, or more my dissension, they will join the base. And you know their objective. They want to mobilize forces and convince Honorable Canada Japan to come and lead them. Convince Alan Cash and other people in smaller parties to join them. And so it is a force to reckon with, though. You can't just brush it off. And if they succeed, they do their things well, that will be the end of MPP. And the media, I put them there to him, say, so be a deep baumia, temporary say without prejudice, can crack acceptable tiabaumia. He has nothing to lose. What baumia ni ato abamawa, oko contest. Why would your boys go about insulting, knowing that it can create, at least it can reduce some of the votes of your candidate? Why don't you keep quiet? And allow things to go so that eventually all of them will support your candidate will win. Okay. And common sense.
Common sense.
And the people on one contest, when I woke up, or can't want some quantity. Because I can tell you, in the MPP, the most popular person is Canada Japan, whether you like it or not. Okay. He's the most popular. And Okaso, of course, is here. They can't count it. I was there because of my affiliation with Canada Japan. Former MPs were calling me, said the base, and how do they join? So, I
see.
And you can't take it for granted. After the elections, up to national, you will see what will happen.
Former MPs were calling you.
Yes, they thought I was part of the base, and they were how they could join it. Yes.
No, reasons.
They are complaining about the going-ons in the party. They are complaining about the going-ons, the way elections are conducted. Their followers in the polling station are being removed from the album. Meanwhile, they don't conduct the elections. With the idea, it has been generally agreed, you're maintaining old executives. But those who supported them, what does it? And these are factual things that they cannot ignore and pretend they are not aware of.
They were just trying to give a dog a bad name to allow them to hang it.
Giving a dog a bad name to do what?
To hang it.
No, I doubt. Oh, okay. I am a party person.
Yeah.
I am an insider. One more most of them report to me. They reported to me. What I say? But okay. I think that apart from the court, there's nowhere to cry to me to way. My friend regional chairman, my friend Profobi Bishop said, so when you were setting up committees, how come no member of Ken was involved in the committees in Ashanti region? Me, my friend, because I love my party.
Now you're patron. I saw you're patron. Means your patron was one of the other member.
I know, cry. But I'm saying that I asked why this Omoti committee, Sakwe police station election, no supporter of Canada Japan was invited.
Ashanti region.
And they should know that they're a force to reckon with. You can't just throw them away and win election. It won't happen.
Okay. Abdafo lawyer William Kusi na AD Nkomono or Yemrani ni pa kese pa na wo there or just by the way now because and then our motto constitutional lessons na about to into Ghana na ya ne fa horman yi Nkomo because and as my be kan ye mahama issue no ne tete no na ye be kan ho 17 na say ye so timi mamu hu other stories no so ekọ abantema constituency elections ya chairman de injunction akoto so a MP afa ho akoto aba no a ngofo men sa akwa say omukosa abato na ya chachi wo no nti ye beba ho 7 minutes to 7 aha aye hot issues better TV and radio East London UK London na UK monteso na ye we na men ka say better photography and videography studios ameka jo say uye adwumade bia involved with camera and video dia men training ko ba bia say better photography and videography studios ye na ye wo ho etimi aboawo na face no ya betwa edi amawo mfoni kama fe so wo ba bia wo abroche hanamo wo UK so wo US wo Canada Germany everywhere you go wo na say person wo sika ekofie emekọ project ma nko adia top connect download sa app no na send sika ekọ afie na fanye o japade enfama send money everywhere with no fees. And what's this kind of charge fees beyond so do I send the piano and no never call the amount a top connect app no corner download ye now so no on penny for bush for send this kind of mona or Livingston Healthcare. So passion for quality and dignified care. And the care homes and biadia, who care who say, Yamisha, Mamma, Papa, or Bushra for be mount, Nayatima from a warm, thou they'll call ma, what would that, Yamisha would be a demo, dear, Livingston Healthcare. Yeah, and I will hold them one. You be decide money now, so at the amount. To money, I'll tell you another yourself, Farmer Bra, not young Chomo and Yum a Juma school, she said, be a dear Chibia, betting a chewon, better to one. Still pass no nya wan free ho nti ye mo nim dia no fapem no na na hia o mani a good foundation I don't the most important thing in their lives you know nti ma mo sa good foundation no eno na me kan atare na zodi ma o se fa ba bra na ye ma mo good foundation papa a on betime agina so e de nyini na on dia bo mo bra na bibia so etia koyi sa wo pe Ghana nuane pa di pa dia okrum ha dia Ghana nuane Ghana no mo ne dia na me kan fo Palm Island lunch na di ama wo sa open watch papa from Ghana David na di dia aye hot na meka fo dia ma red dare ni adua eno favorite pa no on kebab fufuo nkatin kwai reverend kwai be kwai obi kro we say reverend no nya obi anim you it takes a special person I say that twin no feel with reverend kwai who say lawyer be ka kire reverend kwai dia nya obi anim ye it takes somebody ya say that twin no feel pa nti say parallel for somebody reverend kwai mo di pa dia na be di ni ye pa nti ko na onu akodom kra say heat ya bay entra fie onu abusuafo mum pie monko na mkodidi na bibia so entimi enkoso ye ma enti join a better multimedia your Facebook your YouTube your Twitter your online radio TikTok Instagram Twitter ni na join us live in the TV and radio na ye emmo enkomo lawyer mama ko bebe way
radio to me na
o dia obesia akomo na edi ende na ye bosia na the pepper and pressure aye na edi sa akomo no na afa na ya but the substantive case no issue na nkasa so now President John Dramani Mahama say before the year 2012 elections obeye president acting president for 6 months mra ne president the late Professor Mills ewu ye no na aka 6 months nti obekna so Emma odi fa sa 6 years no was swear in ana yakoto aba 2012 already ye Ghana fought for aba edema no twa 4 years to twa 4 years 6 months ana ewo ho ana wasan so sia akwa ba bio 2024 we dey be kwa wie 2029 na eno so nese wodi 8 years 6 months nso so no ho no now Constitution 1992 Constitution no Article 66 clause 2 no I can say terms of office no 2 terms 4 we now so if you're a teacher from Pandai or can also Ganiu alas and say okay Supreme Court say Supreme Court interprets Article 66 clause 2 no enfama no die ntina entime major mama enkon term no lawyer Article 62 clause 2 no asem no dia na ekire owura no esikisa interpretation no na ewia ye wram dia wura politics no hu say if say president determine certain na obeko na Supreme Court cry interpret okay obetini akwa what could happen ye democracy ye lessons ni ya million amanyo sumo Ghana
yo me das me chia tie fo nyina so I'm so read the 1919 Constitution Article 66 2 now. There's a West now more use no. A be anyway ambiguous.
Okay. It's
in plain language.
Okay.
In plain language, mudaho. Fine. Mami, for the purpose of this discussion, mami reading.
Okay.
A person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms.
More than 2 terms.
A person shall not be voted into. Yes, I say shall be voted into office 2 terms. So shall not be voted into office. Yes, and before that, was the term of office is 4 years. What the answer? One is a person elected as president shall, subject to clause 3 of this article, hold office for a term of 4 years, beginning from the date on which he is sworn in as president. What is ambiguous about a term of office? I one clause one. I say term of office here 4 years. Two no say obi anywhere obedi more than 2 years. Okabo my say 8 years.
8 years.
At the interpretation, you know, the Supreme Court about this clear language. Has there been any dispute? Obia suggested or some collection biona any dispute in the Supreme Court interpretation. And I said, and Crofobina, agenda say, Omo person will push because now the Supreme Court is more tilted towards this president. You push say, Yanka say 3 terms. How can you interpret this provisions the constitution as meaning that every term shall be consecutive? Because you see, if you look at the MMCDTC, what you know, or person, consecutive, so kind, it is stated in there. Consecutive, where do I say? A term. A term is also described by the same constitution as 4 years. And so, why do they want it to be interpreted to mean that it is a term is 8 years, 2 4-year terms? The constitution has defined what the term is. I say 4 years.
Okay.
And if the law says that nobody shall occupy that position for more than 2 terms, I have 4 times 2, which is 8. And there's no contemplation of this constitution. Say, every time you had opportunity to say, 1 or 2 consecutive times, it doesn't count. There's no provision like that here. So I disagree vehemently with them.
So now, don't you also think that it will be also very clear, sir, Supreme Court to be who said non-consecutive any consecutive the same? Because the ambiguity. I mean, like
the law is quite clear. If the lawmaker wanted to make it consecutive, he would have said so. On the I may refer to this is chief executive, or say consecutive terms. So you don't import words into the meaning when they are not there. And they never contemplated that anybody will rise up one day and decide, say, consecutive. They never contemplated. Let me tell you about the background of this democracy.
Okay.
We were living in a dictatorship. And we found out that in order to create stability, let's create a situation where limits will be given to individuals who rule. What does it? It's on that backdrop, and formulating constitution, even 1 president, 2 terms. That is 8 terms. Since we started this democracy, it has been like this hard to say your mama ba 1 term will lose you. Even his coming back was even questionable because the president is a public service.
Yes.
And so we're asking questions. So do you come back to be employed? But the interpretation given is that yes, once the constitution says that he has another term, he can contest. I don't have a contest. So contest, I must say, 66-2, HSA. It's not true. These are some of the things that we did under Riakoto and others. The fact is, judiciary is favorable to does not mean that you should take undue advantage, because you see, the stability we have, we can't take it for granted. Who be the power now, so perpetrating one, and once ramification it also. And it is a your mama. I didn't second term no qua. Mumiano no comunya yodom na moyano no. The ankofa ayene bia ma ye democracy. Munyano, because you see, in doing this, the man the best of all later. Now, Domo Yomunim say when your mama is off and somebody else come and is giving 12 years. And he's fooling, just as people said, Akufo-Addo was doing this and 12 years. Second one, and there's wisdom in the 8 years. By 8 years, everybody will know your character. And when you are doing well, you mentor somebody to take over from you. And the media, I disagree vehemently with those who are proposing that this clear language, which is ready, ought to be interpreted. I think that there should be a preliminary issue at the Supreme Court to strike out this whole application as irrelevant and of no moment, because MBNC Supreme Court here debate if you think it's for 2 terms, you don't go there till there's a dispute. Dispute whenever. Who is trying to convert the third time? Nobody has. So what is the need for this? Article 2, interpret. Article 4, interpret. Now, even when it is clear language, the Supreme Court will take time to do. They don't do that. They don't do that. It is when you can give several meanings to something. What's it 2 terms? Plus one said 1 term means 4 years. And the consecutive Mama, we have 4 terms, dada. We have 1 term, dada. And we have the second term. And the people are suggesting say court in the cancer. Mama bet me a cobium. Of course, I know a 3rd term, and the constitution quite clear. Only 2 terms. And the Mama has no chance whatsoever in law to contest again. If Mama is the agenda, they should forget it. He has already finished with his 1st term, and this is the 2nd term. And the Constitution is saying that nobody can contest more than 2 times. This is not equivocal. A person shall not be elected to hold office as President of Ghana more than 2 terms. Over 3rd term, is it not against the Constitution? More than 2 terms. And over another one, is it not against the Constitution? If the law is interpreted to me consecutive, it would have been a 3rd term. And the Constitution, when we say the Constitution, put one and the positive was it shall not. And there's no window of opportunity for any interpretation to suggest that there can be another term for Mama, because that will constitute a 3rd term. And the term has been defined as 4 years.
Constitution, Supreme Court case, supposed to bound on someone or somebody. No, after they drew her court to that, after that, you find no any argument. Okay, Supreme Court case here, call a lesson in the other day.
There's been several of them. There's been several political cases that the court has looked at the public policy and surrounding circumstances and given strange definitions. What does it?
Yes.
But where nothing has happened, there will be destabilization. Let's go this way. But there's no issue here. What does it? No matter has arisen, there's no tension, there's nothing. Then you go to court and tell the court, interpret the 2 terms to mean 2 consecutive terms. Meanwhile, clause 1 says that it's 4 years.
Lawyer, but issue a whole. I saw for now agenda Mahama should go for the 3rd term, and it's better than. And that's the issue.
There's no issue. So could be our bottom could you say Bama quarter tema. And I said but okay, not bottom media Kazana.
So for that
so for the Mama, what is the basis for that? Bama Bar 2nd term would do 1.5 years. What is the basis for a pastor calling him to come for the 3rd term? What is their problem? If they are not sick,
Mama is a manager crime. Mr. Mama, your manager crime, because also by 1 year penal. The why no abroad the MP for 8 years.
Why? Now, Master, we are thinking the way. I'm a baby, or buy a baby. Apart from stabilizing the dollar, we're constructing road. What's the agenda? What's the airport? Now, we'll be back. No, but call not in the country. Also, mentally, he's handicapped. Mama, nobody expect Mama to do what Akufo-Addo did in 8 years. I don't expect him. And I will not condemn for doing anything. But to suggest, say Mama by sin, a good word with you might be sick.
Oh, really?
Because it's not true. Where's the evidence? Do you have any evidence to that effect? Was he airport? How many kilometers of asphalt roads no here? Health sector. Was he hospital saying? Education. What has he done? Now Obia Obokola. Put me in Yamian Bekache say, Mama Ba 1 year, I say Kufuadua. I don't know what you are talking about. If you tell me he has succeeded in stabilizing the city, I will agree with you perfectly.
Yes,
not because I'm MPP.
And I know the achievement. And then I'm so proud my cannot.
But Tio, who see what's your chair Kufuadu 8 years? Can that be true? Who stabilize the dollar for 1 year? Now the MPP people must stabilize the dollar. Who stabilize it for 1 year? Can't be that you don't expect people to say. Me as a Ghanaian, I'm Ghana, me call places. I say, oh yeah, these people, fire service school. Oh yeah, fire service school, which has almost one since independent. Oh yeah, a lot of development. Things may not have been right then, but what you're fine. But I can say, na Mama Pa Mama Pa Bibi. I don't know why I catch them. Okay.
So but let's zoom to the constitutional interpretation. What we are done.
And the name person say, one more Mokasano, the other jokers or do they mean it? And you almost suggest it doesn't mean that the whole nation should follow them because they are saying that. Because the foundation of the argument is porous.
Okay.
It's porous.
Okay, so
minimum of Okoa cancer, but I'm sure they are the stomach ones.
I see. So laying down the foundation as to whether or not the Supreme Court doesn't need any interpretation about Article 66 clause 2 of the 22 Constitution. Officer, then a bit more pursue be said on far same way and go Supreme Court seeking interpretation from the court said on declare Mahama, President Mahama said he obeyed eligibility to contest the third term. Assured.
This was started by, in fact, officially by the majority leader of parliament, Obekaya. I see a General Secretary of the party responded
vehemently
in no uncertain terms. Vehemently. Say, Rory scored in the party by when he kicked them. And you are more parts in the they should forget it. And is this same crop of people, yes, who are doing that? What do I say? For their stomach. Mama Akasa be contesting will be called quarter, and they understandable. But Uti Mama Akasa no Akasa won't go you. You get the point? So the timing is wrong by itself. And the law did not leave any opportunity or window for any interpretation. Or say 1 term here 4 years, 2 terms 8 years. Then partisanship. And every lawyer would think that this will fall flat. But lawyer be canceled be chairman. I think Thursday. Attach here. Or see you. The business and a senior, over your address now, also. Address though, maybe about China, and your bogus case. And having said bogus, there are other considerations why he can be convicted, but by law, it's impossible. What do I say? And ordinary law, every lawyer will know. So with this kind of language, how would the court manage to say 1 term means 2 consecutive terms? Unless they name the one person, say if the one person can go on 2 consecutive terms, the second consecutive election will constitute 3rd term. And a constitution there more than 2 terms. And the interpretation be here. Many of my almost say applicants, the young mom can many of my so when the court dismisses the application, they should mock them with exemplary cost. Because the Supreme Court is not for comedy. It is for serious work. Out of malice and political greed, Obia Bedin the 8 years, Ghana has honored him. You respect John Mama. Well, unless you're winning, nobody can say he did anything untoward. Or winning hands down. That is the choice of Ghanaians. Obedin the 4 years, Ghanaians are expecting him to change our situation. That is what we are all waiting for. And no, Omunyano, no concentrating, no money mine 4 years. So, Pompo be a watch it. Yeah, office so bit my pen a chair turning you must. No man on the so called try election. Or we near. No, no trouble, we near. Near about me, answer could take you over. Not digitization experience on Yaya, honestly, the Bugana. There's no need for all these troubles which can even destabilize the country. It's not worth it.
Now, lawyer say, you didn't say, Emrano or horse says, I want to be a seer with me a quack of the Supreme Court. Now, I brand here, say, and can you answer no?
Now, the won't tell us, other one go school now on camera. Sentence beyond all, a constitution, the court interpretation. This is clear language. And look at interpretation to this clear language, are there? More than 2 terms. 1 term is 4 years. Osimi Professor Nipano, managers will be 12 years. Where did I didn't some granny? I didn't some granny. The laws, and can we see terms now? Constitution use you know. And when define what a term is. I know can't term quadian, and now I can say, let's see if a term means 2 consecutive terms. What was it 4 years? Was the Milka professor bit my Ababion? Abedaba. And there's all about Uncle Bio, better answer forever.
Forever. Now, I know now,
I think Gabi said your baby I could see 2040. And so what ready Gabi or the article?
Me
If the constitution says yes, then 2040, your mama will still be the president of Ghana. It is absurd. We shouldn't countenance it. It's not worth it. So, the law is quite clear.
Yeah, prejudice was hard, but Sunday was the constitution, plain language. We see, class 1 nuclear Kaya Betias. Would you expect, sir, decision will go the other way around, like, after the interpretation? A bit of Kama, African.
Akwana political. It didn't come on, madam. Say, if there's no political consideration, we have been here, in the court, election petitions, decisions on political decisions. Let's hope that this time around, the Supreme Court will do the needful. I will not give any interpretation that will create confusion because this is so clear, a provision that nobody else. In fact, when him say, talk on one of the charges on the board say, or about court no dia sembina or say ID card where now more refer to the constitution. Don't you mean if I will is it passport or and tuaba? Yes. And they were saying that was not black and white in the constitution. And these same people cannot come back and say that their president ought to go for the 3rd term because almost Supreme Court won't be my cause. I'm not sure anybody will want to embarrass himself in that order. Anything can happen though, but me feel say
hot issues on better.
Don't say here, obi define over voting. Okay. Okay. It can happen.
I want to say, no, as I want to say, now, judgment. I want to say, now, judgment. Say, now, I was a mandation. So, that's say, now, judgment. It's like, for instance, say, case, no, decision, no, but not a political. Not a situation where the governing ruling party, and that's a ruling government, the party, the secretary, the chairman, I rise against a decision or agenda not the member not the majority leader shall say or project no or back sorry no say this is in the bar office a day business because this is a situation the chairman and the general secretary of the party or sorry agenda or more majority leader shall say the parliament. That's a Supreme Court interpretation now in favor of the applicant. No, I didn't office a bit me see.
Part now, I cook a separate because in spite of the law, they will not allow him to come.
Okay.
Because they believe that somebody else have to take the position. And Supreme Court is not binding on the NDC. They will still conduct an election and they will do their best to contest the MAHAMA.
Because now, so what's the beginning? No, and Sakra and Mobe proposed President MAHAMA was also Nkobiono. They were also thinking like they haven't gotten anyone who is so to speak, why so prepared. So hear about me, sending our call to Ghana, no lead the MPP no. Apart from MAHAMA, almost any now be so prepared. I Ghana for me Gina Tum, I'll bet my winning straight away. It's in the President MAHAMA ba then the third time then they will use the opportunity to sell someone, market someone. I'll bet my take over from him.
Oh, that is their luck. But you don't need to prepare somebody before he wins the election. Or maybe Mubu or Mani year. Ghanaians will be prepared for another NDC government to take over. You don't need to prepare anybody. Your mama will be off the scene. MPP too would have a new person contesting for presidency. And everybody is prepared in the second time. And it is needless. These are people who are protecting their interest. There are people who are protecting their interest. We are peacefully enjoying the 1992 Constitution. Let us go on enjoying it. That Niema Dejo, when him said, Constitutional Reform Committee can come out with a proposal, say, we'll be got term. Mama reason, and now say, yes, changing the 4-year term to 5 years. That is a better approach than to go to the Supreme Court to say, Supreme Court interpret 6-2 to mean that he can contest another term so that his tenure will be a 2-term consecutive term. Was it no? Was it 2 terms? One can say 2 consecutive terms. And they're clear.
Zebia Okwa na ba yo, na so okori na to aso ori na 2 terms.
2 terms.
I don't know, Elchima Bibi so Constitutional Review Committee for no report proposed on the buyer say, my president got 5 years. In 1 term, 5 years. MPs got 5 years. I don't know, I inform such decision. For instance, I just say, President MAHAMA would have to end the term of office, no, 2030.
Everyone on Kahu. That would be the next person who is elected. The mandate given to him by Ghanaians was for him to rule for 4 years. He will be trying 4 years. No,
because Parliament. It will depend on Parliament. No, and here's the case. I almost want the super majority in Parliament say, okay.
Parliament cannot go back.
Okay.
You don't interpret the law like that. You are two Abaman for 4 years. So the next person who comes after the law is enacted in the between 5 years. Kufokwa was the first to have started with that campaign.
Yeah.
Kufokwa started that campaign. The intention was not to perpetuate his stay, but was a sincere the last time all corner of time said enough time. I'm on the project. Can you imagine that MPP agenda 111 hospitals? The party that took over says is not their priority. I'm very glad and yet the private investors. I'm on my hospital. No, Juma and then one of them government. Can you imagine?
You hospital, market.
I could see market, 24-hour market.
I was say why one
Market
one
is so.
111 near too over ambitious, but 275 no market you need there and yeah over ambitious. Guess it.
Now ambitious. Sana politicians come young wise up. And then it is so much discuss our content. Time of the Gukomom, time away. It has not reduced the importation of. That's a policy be where above 24-hour economy. A sick and move chedi. Let's be realistic. Waba Zoom live a ball as my trunk contract with Dama a year for Sabobo ya for a sahin for and a move 2 million good swims and so to an agidi. When we are moving on, you drag us back. And now you waste management. If you go to the developed world, it is done with decency. And now you introduced to be through Zoom line. Oba ya was my contract with Dama from finding them group of you. You will penny some of that. I don't know how someone no friend say development nana. We are maybe say so for cross answer. Maybe pray with you beside so for cross answer. Omo gunya mi animal se do.
So.
Oh pa. Na de woman ni atuatu omatiko. O baby awoti uhun development ho. No aka say Kufuor anya free na. Your mama ba he's trying to start something but he has done nothing yet. Ashanti region Rosa a Kufuor constructing here. Ya ka kilometer you be shocked. And you are born to be fine but on ya and catch what you have to. How can you say that?
Now, lawyer William Kusida in Edinburgh, where private legal practitioner, dominating best now, now, lawyer, consultant review committee, I propose as process by Anna, I was a circle, now it will take effect.
Yeah.
Consultant review committee, I won't propose as Yama can say, all the president to make 5 years, MP 5 years. Process any day.
So this is not the first time we have constituted a constitutional reform committee.
Yeah.
And at the behest of the president, that president feels convenient to me. They will look at the paper and issue a white paper.
Okay.
At the moment, minimum in the calendar for it, but let's wait and see.
Because President Nakasawa can't want some during the time in Toya and see how cold. But what can want some say, Yama. President 5 years, MPs 5 years. I'm a waka, but I can't say we should wipe people. It will issue wipe people any question for Parliament bill, right?
Was any question there?
I got Parliament bill now. We should watch people in the Parliament bill.
No, that's having the processes of enacting that law, but the Parliament.
Okay.
Executive na the banner Parliament. Once they have approval, then the president will append his signature.
Oh, okay. Right. So it has a power now. Constitutional interpretation in there. Article 66 clause 2, no. Not any ambiguity for any interpretation, any explanation.
Not at all. Not at all. No English, no P2R or better, and it has no legal terminology. Good terms. Term in a legal. And I one where define term to be 4 years. And the minimum interpretation be almost here. Or any term no for 4 years. I don't know how could be the interpretation of the term, whether it should be consecutive or no. And I said, if he wanted it to be consecutive, he would have said so expressly. Consecutive. This is assembly, Diana, a consecutive. And the way they were coming consecutive. That is why Mama had the opportunity to come back again to contest. And yes, I was in as gratuity and the conditions of service and call from public service. Go to him, but the law gave him the opportunity and he came. Was Ghana, he tried a second privilege. He tried to say, Ninia, Dama mines, When you know Modia, you try or the Maraquans on the fire, one fanco. No Munya is almost half a society, it's not the best. There are other people in this country, Bobby Bit the president. There are a lot of senior members of the NDC who are capable of taking that position. Papa ya na mrebi crop pass is a maintenance can be a friend. Alabi kada bi back on na se maintenance ka yo.
Swegabra.
You do Jimmy call to say what the fame no say.
Swegabra. Of course
Swegabra.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a decent man with vast experience, God fearing. They are all there. They can lead this country. And because of you prepared, that is not true. They are prepared. They can be president. And let's make sure that we don't propose things that is likely to create tension in the country. If you love Ghana, do what will help Ghana, not what to bring tension in the country. So if you are closer to those who have been in power before, no matter aggressive. Look at how NDC was aggressive in this second term, threatening and doing all that. And you know what killed the aggression was the winning of the elections. So, and it was good for the country. And you will be a mayor to be a problem. Be a man enjoy democracy. Kakra. So to say, Ebenya ni papa nyansani ni ndiefo yo be lead Ghana. Ghana your problem now leadership. We don't have any problem. All our problems is leadership. People who can control others because they themselves know that their hands are in it. No? And to me punish it. That is the only reason why today we are where we are. Natural resources, mineral resources in there. And Kanyasam within the short time I did before by lifestyle assistant. And it's all over. Don't say that, you know. And this change is seen. Yes, they are hidden. And the church said, "You money, Obiazo per Jumo per Jumetria, I papa me bois. Unya appointment ever power. Exactly. And I don't blame any politician for craving to have a position because himself we a position at the same according we won't farm and make papa panko. Until we get leaders who will say, I will not genuinely tolerate any certain, and that if you do, you acquire property without accounting for it, you'll be punished. No start to punish here. You will see how things will change. A public servant by the Kumasi, small boy. And he was also in government. So when he was in crowd, the mere fact that you are in government should show you should be modest so that the outside world will not say that probably you have enriched yourself in government. If you can't know anything. So, and we should be careful. I hear almost many broso, despite when I say you will be. Oh, you say in the file, I'm a near the power, Juma. And then I expose person. Within this short time, you know, with this assistant. Since you became you had an appointment, it speaks volumes. And the perception out there is that it is because you are the one in charge of good boy. And you know, Anka Jomama Nankasa, a leader or checking corruption, he would have cautioned that guy. Modesty. Sikano or but be modest. You don't need all the money to be rich. Or you don't need to do everything for you to be rich. Once in government, who outside government, which way they operate. I'm now more opposition. Now, Gabi, I say, where I say. But these same people are doing worse things. Why? Because they are now in government. And only a pay leader or bar was, you know, the usual politicking in Ghana should stop. There should be a leader. And there should be his appointees. The appointees are subjected to him. If he doesn't like what you do, he punishes you. Yeah. That is how it is done.
Lawyer,
Obi timi ko jina radio so. AD Pentecost, Penina Temma, Chief of Staff, Timisu, and Sunipani. And what is the meaning of that? And you usually say, Madam, may punish you for your act. And this our leadership wouldn't any be. The Nyanya people, things will begin to change gradually. The desire to become a politician will reduce because Obia law, because Obia person of parliament. Parliament would observe the crowd, they are supposed to be average people. So everybody is fighting to go there so that they get appointment and become billionaires. It's not the best.
And this is by under 2 years. Okay. We here and go for our appointment on President Mahama appointed on the finance minister, agric minister, chief of staff, national chairman, and then go for Kakanhua. Ya tete say omu nyina pese omo ebe lead the party. President our child memoir ni 2 years kra enu ye na ne nkofo no nkofo mom appointment pe no ehwe na stase ahwede no. What does it tell you?
Indiscipline.
Among
If the president was in charge, he should be able to caution them. Where party executives are cautioning, president has said nothing about it. But the president should caution them against that because you cannot do that. I got 2 solid years and beyond. Once I take priority, when you say BC or MPP, when you say BC or MPP, agric minister.
Yes.
Akoto. Instead of focusing on the activities, now he tend to be a politician, OCB boss, I always spoke against it. Say he should be relieved of his position because he's campaigning.
Yes.
Whilst the agric sector is suffering. So, and I think that is not something they should encourage. I see it is not responsible for Ghanaians or any party. Yeah. But when appoint him to public office, you can't do that. And the party and the president should take measures to prevent that so that they can concentrate. 4 years and Chebao says, "See, I make a just they have a lot to do, and the opportunity is this year and next year. And you concentrate no money be no money.
But I said, any more money, no, and ya dear men cook President Ehuni Nabi. There's a penny dre manti, but then the equi ya go for your opinion puts a bar hold on in a prefer say. Now the president is naked, so to speak. So as a cool being on put more at the end or also so encan here. No, I mean, is not in charge. I mean, or as a president can enjoy Bibiano, the best on a part in the moon on Fahuana.
He seems not to be in control. That is what they suggest. Mr. Bru. He seems not to be in control. That is what he suggests.
But it doesn't speak well with him.
I would say perception is very important. And you assume is over from them crack as out Roma. Can be very dependent who say you are against that. Now come on, man. Everybody will conclude say, oh, the president is not in control. He can't control his ministers. And that is what we are seeing.
So can it also be said, all right, I don't know, the obey no opportunity, sir, Mirijamo. The moon bayano, Papa and Bayano, the Bedimon Mukai. It's medium, the jam doesn't obey Biabasa on Famo. Is it I don't care type oh yeah, and I say, or depart now, bro. And I said, what is it? I mean, the idea officer.
My sure so depart now, bro. Or depart now, Branca. On your friends and completed them. Remember, he has an ambition. All these things about term, nobody will tell me, sir, I agenda winning Hoshi. What do you say?
Okay.
All these things about term, no one. I can tell you on authority that it's an agenda that he agrees. And he, and ya brought no episode. or he seemed not to be in charge. That's all. Or no, do you have any speeches? No.
Okay. And the end results, no, then
last interview be. He was telling Ghanaians what what is the cause of the floods, no? And not touching Aburi Mountains, one, converge, but he never mentioned any solution to it. What I say, you have been in office for 1 and something years. You know that in Soto, what did you do? You waited till there was flood before you are come to tell us what happens. And so that is his nature. What I say? And the weakness, no. But so far, so good. That you serious confusion, probably our governance. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. Now, 20 minutes to 8. Hot issues live on Better Media TV and radio. And you may know lawyer William Kusina AD Komono. Now, and this governance, 1.5 years, 1 year, is it 7 months? Yeah. So far, so good. CD, dollar, a stabilizer, come on, Intino. Okay, be a CD dollar, no, a stabilizer. 24-hour economy, no, can CD, no.
But so when him cost a year for the stabilization. And
cost no. Means the biya can hold ya.
Okay.
The biya can hold.
Every baby can see a stabilizing an year to you.
Oh,
secure a bit to mercy schools. Secure a bit to mercy hospitals. Secure a bit to mercy airports. And you destabilize the city.
They began a vonimo. And you're gonna phone your way.
They began a 1 year at the end of butcher, no. 1 year at the end of butcher, no. 1 year at the end of butcher, and this year at the end of Super. As long as we want the city to be stabilized, that is how much we have to spend to ensure that it is stabilized. And that is the consideration we pay for stabilizing our city.
And lawyer, what do you say, city no stabilize, and say be a message you put in place in Tina. I mean, say you chanhoka. Say you chanhoka a cabinet, and we are cry. As a kind of function,
one will say, I may summarize it as being artificial because Bank of Ghana, Sika, and a Kotoba, normal tone, for instance, gold ball Sika, any reserves, one cofatone, just to make the difference to ensure that the city will not rise. When there's shortage of dollars, then the dollar will start rising. And what they needed to do is to make sure that we had enough dollars in the system. And they used the hard-earned CD to buy the dollar at a price higher than what we will pay for. And it's how can a Bank of Ghana bond to trade, you know, I want a free. And a few ways to the Ababa. Now, and also the same figure or more. And as long as we maintain the dollar, we are going to pay that money.
I see.
And into the Amazon to meet it, be beyond to mean better. What is the inflation about from one group, but you see nothing. There's no difference. And I never won a Bank of Ghana butcher, you know.
And think as can I debe akwan say this school dan no na e da $100 no abodin near the better so ha.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And yes can I yes ha no.
Yes you got no.
I see. Na sa you buy so 24-hour economy. That's how I say yes market 24-hour market district ni na and also see go on course enti no e ma no benya adwuma ye nyame adom esi market ni wi a and also so e say no scan bi a edeko
na but what transfer adwene 24-hour market no what is it? What constitutes a 24-hour market?
Hospital.
That people should go and sell plantain at 1 a.m.
There's a hospital
Now the agenda one hospital the way. Hospital market and say 24 hours economy. You see, it is practically impossible to say an economy that is struggling like this should have these people even working 24 hours. It's impossible. If you go to the US and others where most works are 24 hours now, and yet stay that you where the demand, there's a requirement. US I have worked in the factory. Those suppliers and I don't know orders who are or see meet orders before call the next morning. And so we have to run shift to ensure that we meet the demand. Now there's no demand. Yet you want to go and produce. Who's going to buy? Whose material are you going to use? How are you going to pay your workers when you get them to come on shift? Basis now and I do 9 to 4. And it's practically impossible. You know, see disco. And also look at the 24-hour economy. Or say chop bar. Chop bar, and I do food the I say, and your head, you know. You 24 hours economy, Nema, chop bar from 1, I do 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, how can we be thinking like this at this age? And to me say, Sikadie, a project that can never be materialized. A campaign promise, they have to do something. A market is fine, but don't call it 24-hour market because there will not be any 24-hour market.
There is a lawyer, you see market here. You better go for a market. You better a store. When I say, better store, watch my store. When I say, I buy and you better buy and you better go for a market.
I buy any paycheck. I buy any paycheck, it take a chunk of the national revenue. The paycheck today, me no kasa yi. Omiya budget that. They do here assistance say sika from the betua salaries is about 1/3 or 2/3 of the
revenue
amount generated by the government. Yes, and you know, also I go for say omemani nam eja obi amomu a. Now a prudent decision. Will it be a prudent decision? There should be value for money.
It's Johnny Yesaya Day. Lawyer say Johnny Yesaya Day.
Some for the campaign promise.
But then come home. Because campaign. Yeah, campaign. See, I say you basically 24-hour market. Yeah, see, and Brano say 1,336 as then day. Do we open corner? I wait 8 hours. 8 hours.
So almost some just a market in the allow and to go to one here use. I don't never allow more people. What does it? See a creative market, it's never quite more. Then there's a trade shift. That's what it means. Now, what is over see a 24-hour hospital? Hospitals running 24 hours. What does the fire service 24, military 24, police 24. Our order that. And in their struggle to look for something to say, so musi markets. And they don't require an indication of failure. Omoya can perform customer. Almost 24-hour economy any market.
No, sir. Wouldn't say you cry you mean. Yeah, na cars, you also cars your money. And she said, "Do market baby, on packet. Maybe on Benumusio, on Beddy crowd, no tea, no money. I didn't say some market 24 and 1 more. That was a which set a quick second. Omudu no mwana se bia o body o hono banche ho anajuno a obeto bia go ni cab no de o ja ho mia no de ko se be ya se ohun enti
and me pato I truck drivers e wo gan no me yesen
o se Togo for Burkina Faso ina di twam bi o mu twam
me say o mu ina o me yesen o be do 2,000 po and I say about 10,000. You want to create a market for drivers? It's impossible. Who do I Linda Doa? Who do 2 club and BBD? What does it? These things are already present.
Body and toss about the any bunch no I both phone in the bin ho.
Now, body a total na jo ade we be phone akoto body anado. Who go we na na akoto body akọ na anado ana.
So start to ma dey ati. Even the chronicle or fasting. Or fasting.
You see, the point is that We should not invest our money in ventures that will not give us return. That's the point I'm making. That if we do, it will not succeed. And then make and go on chair no time now swam way. And yeah, confirm the two difference they find away. And I John Mama has had this experience before. Or go far confirm some buy. It didn't yield anything. About a go on you real your mom you say that the actual I'll go be anywhere.
In the answer by
no matter
in your answer by
hello.
In your problem, so in Indiano.
I know so. So these are investments that this Ghana much and I'm why change your dog Ghana. You make all these monies are big money. Say go conquer. What about that? You raise issues. You go be go hand in go. And I bet you know go
but lawyer 24-hour economy in the market no. I think that I was a more time na ye entiasie e wo hopa because ye entiasie ntinkana ye hia this for no na secretariat no Mr. Gudita no na ombema ye nchiremu because 24-hour market no I think that it's affecting the Ghanaians and then the NDC for na supporters no because omukura nyi entiasie wo most 24-hour
so
2 years
I sham and you ho and book be anu ebeti matura because loopholes bebam. There's nothing like 24-hour economy. A 24-hour economy is an economy that is booming. A do share near my infrastructure industries now are available. That is why the economy becomes 24 hours. But electricity, it will provide also 24-hour economy. That's how they have stabilized the city. And how to stabilize the electricity. And you came and suddenly light started doing. What is the 24-hour economy? Only our light in the 24-hour economy. Now, the end of the Bobo of the 24-hour economy.
Yes, some now. Go on to think it. On to say minister or call parliament. Or Kasa when your videos now go for cry for minister. Time I soon dear back. Who go no, no. Yakuno, Yari, and you somehow you know. Now, Minister Crack has said, what? And no cry, yes, sir. A man go for develop the test for local products, you know. My uncle, you know, we okay. Forgetting, sir, it's affecting the national coffers because American kind of doctor was embarrassed so do kind of man farmer. But Minister said, okay, sir, almost.
And cook what they look at. And your party, you know, Tommy.
I say,
your party farmers, or here, Sika. I buy a pottery moon. I might supply locally. But because of the interest of the businessman who would import a chicken tea, almost fast through one of them was my friend. The Nipo Hawaii. They frustrated them, even under MPP.
Yeah.
20% they should empower the politicians, the poultry farmers who are commercially running those businesses. What they are go come me. Na me teacher ni na me nimse na airport na me ne ba na yade ba. Me da hwe nkoko no nyina ngu. If you would season poultry farms, yade timi chi om no nyina awu. And the best is to empower the poultry farmers to expand their poultry farm. Professor Jain, lecturer law school. Professor Jain, he has one of the biggest poultry, also called one district, one factory. So called Jessica says bank. Then Omar Mano, if you go and look at his poultry, you'll be shocked. The kind of investment Omar Mano. They didn't give it to him. You have to empower those people when they produce more. What's in the coast here or ton? Or ton crime, so the demand is so high. I can say, obey my expansion. But who will support him with money? They will rather use the money for political and party for what to talk to the mom. No matter who no me say and go on to the you are 1 billion cities. Without returns. And that is the politics we are playing. That is why Ghana is bleeding.
Now, and go on to the video. What will be? Or my cum now, more one who dear. What will be? Oh, almost someone like Mokuomo, Motuomo. I don't catch him the same minister. I know because you do no the I do not I didn't just say if you are not so omunya sika fan to aso den no so the idea minister idea you kuno why video egu akire and o video say o the aka dey go hai the kuno so nie minister the idea there ye mfa ma o say ya kuno ma ya because I idea din ato the atokoro so and say o man no attitude no near mindset no na as man say probably the government meta akwa ye ne bia M1 no ye ne atiti mu no so no ye mindset na to me mu no so sa say M1
Don't say what to quantity Jamaican winning. Oko UK, one of the cheapest meat here chicken me boy. Exactly. I household in there. Yeah, it's poultry farmers who have received support.
Yeah, and support.
And no me and commercial basis na abu no bia kakra bia benya bia betima to biawe. I think that should be the approach. That should be the approach. So na nye say obi a oni skill wo kokonya ho bi say ye check obi anye bu nketenkete esa it will never work. Na koko nketenkete tua school fees.
Nza akoko wo say
when the school
akoko wo say so na be that abetua school fees.
School fees. What kind of solution does it bring? Ghana, Ghana is stable. We are developing the country. Obviously, but I'm sure sir, the crack do. Now the idea of third term, the moment I found to baby now, then the democracy, kakra. Because he said, you be develop. Mamu kopa bibia support to bibia detention, bibia baba mine. Yen penny sir.
Well, you know that's East London, better multimedia TV and radio. Now, you were E176BJ, East London. And now you were Black Horse area, road one. I heard not your walk. Then to Yango car, when there was a set, oh, yeah, bread and the pebble.
My land, never very sure why.
Lawyer, who here pie, be here with studio hapa. Yeah, with studio hapa. We have studio hapa. And now I tell you, so I'm my friend, and get a point. Yeah, folk are coffee. I didn't come on. Oh, that's a mistake.
Every moment tells a story. At Bethel Photography and Videography Studios, we capture moments that last forever. From weddings to corporate events, fashion shows.
Better life band. Bro, mention now as a new papa and new live band, say gospel, other them, Nina, bro, every Saturday afternoon or live, better TV and radio, make sure sir on message this because this come better live band every Saturday. Don't miss this one. Better photography.
Every moment tells a story. At Bethel Photography and Videography Studios, we capture moments that last forever. From weddings to corporate events, fashion shows to family milestones, we bring your vision to life. With professional equipment, creative storytelling, and a passion for excellence. Enjoy a special 15% discount on our photography services. Bethel Photography and Videography Studios. Your moments, our passion. Book today.
670-0754.
At Livingston Healthcare, we believe everyone deserves to live with dignity, comfort, and respect. We provide compassionate, high-quality care that supports independence and well-being at home. We offer a wide range of tailored care services, including live-in care, 24-hour support in the comfort of your home, personal care, daily assistance with respect and dignity, reablement care, helping you regain independence. Dementia support, specialist patient-centered care. Learning disability support, empowering individuals to live fulfilling lives. Care for older people. Compassionate care for aging.
Yen you be trying to come back so Eddie amount. It's if Penifo Ahmatu for Suna Hunkomobiano, Yanu in 0775 3213 0775 3213 Livingston Healthcare, passing for quality and dignified care, and I may come for Eddie amount war. Sabia baby, I will be an old person send this up. I will send this fast. As also, Sabia in the scientist can be Fusua, and your top connect. Top connect say, Japa at the amount, and Sabia will fear, or him be beer person will be our person send this caco fear beer D. And your top connect. I'll say send money everywhere with no fees. And top connect. And once I call Google Play, I know your mom used to Android, no. Mom used to iPhone, so they all call Apple Store, so no download the top connect. Na and so was share na o send sika no na bibia so etimi akoye e de amawo na yekogidi because ewia na boy someone dey bad there ewia no abo you say want me to you can't stay home no or so dey too much nti also pay kakran so na ko socialize wo because dey bia no adwuma ni fie no ko no ba no ano de dodo nti ewia no bo say dia akwanya na ba na watade na watogu fie no watogu ho no what make me shebi e de pie wodi pie a yenkogidi a kwan fa ko Palm Island Lounge na ho na Ghana nuane papa no so ewo se wachi fried rice check kebab wo hu aha tilapia banku tilapia na me de na bia no se mo se banku tilapia no na mo ko fa tilapia no nko aba na banku ni nka ho mo ko fa banku kitinti me no pa gu no ya mpesa mo chese enti we ha de banku tilapia no so banku no so so enti ebe compliment tilapia na e dia ma no nye ba bia minimum akọ a banku tilapia na akfa tilapia banku ngita mi no dia ma na afi o kekam aha de banku tilapia no so banku so do so a wo be dia men na be bia so abunabunu nyina ye Palm Island Lounge na me kan fo edi ama wonti akodon kria na abusuafo mo nko awia boy mo gidi Ghana no ne ne Ghana nuane nyina so enso e wo ho panifo se tete o mani ye na omo atimi abanyin aye mpanimpa enti akra no otete na otini yesai eno je say give your child a good foundation a obetimi agina so e de ekonanim ne nkwa na nyina that's the only thing that can give to your child enti Italian nursery ene ya kanfo de ama osem o ma no onkla no for mo brayen na yentete won ye ma o mo fapem papa se empo wonyini vie na apart from that no because of the foundation here what the money vie a yoni okokra enti fane brayen school yi ye betete nkla yi ya chechere for no e wo timma e de mamofra no omo wo bread mamofra no omo nim de mamofra no tete omo yie ebe kire omo de a omo nyini na ompo na apede enye school a wo kwa ogba no wie wo ba fie bi wo sankofa cheche ni foforo sa sa mechana de wo fie dabi wo ye 2 in 1 e de mon kama bonus ba papa Jatalia for yo you can put the amount no 07958017732 07958017732 Italia for you can for the amount enti better multimedia you catch us say connect with us on all our social media platforms, your Facebook, your Twitter, your YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Twitch. Nina woni any enkomo. Anything enkomo bia busade bia peso hu better multimedia group nina mo no. Okọ no mo just go there, link with us. O questions asem bi se bia peso bi se bia fate ho. Na yen so e betimi agi wanom. Na better multimedia, you the program for eba akwanto mu nsem coming soon. I did ebe bro. Come akwanto mu nsem. You did ebe bro nti. Watch out. We are there to give you the best of programs. Timumba na muni emra medi juma bibia enso koyi my review say live band no there better live band every Saturday afternoon we will give you the quality groover utia one cause you enjoy live band no the man live band ebi emada we get a live band Ghana live band utimi say that kwatena se ko tres ka kwatena se ko tie live band no na dey blow better multimedia Saturday awia bia eti here no one from kra my remfi so Saturday awia bia no a better live band at the brow gospel another them high life hip life ni na ya ma mu bi e wo better but media live band into uko o like page no o subscribe o follow na wa share na afoforo so atime enya bi a share abusafo aha na brema kwan ma e de na body no atime asie chama ze ka free fa nyimre that's se na mutie ma mutie ni na chama ze ka free fa imenya misha that's pa na o correct sound no na why Christopher Dai on said that's Eric Okai Ado munya what say more na mo monitor video my said na sound no na ayi we ntini anko pon shama pa in fact na test nko Emma Papa Snow na fe prince anyimre omo control bibia Emma me e de bra o midin the aqua pieces of bibia ko anko pon amma that's ne person so enemu edi asia na se de ba ye be di UK elections ho enkomo nti second stay next week MPP UK umko elections now must start chapter elections no na ka branch it's a branch no the chairman the vice chairman the second vice chairman the secretary organizer event organizer youth organizer communications director nasara coordinator youth organizer nyina edebra mu nti diadu why ena LED chairman for no why na LED why na what president bit me arena our UK branch election no chairman no youth organizer why no bit me qualify na bit me arena even organizer why yes we got all of them here better multimedia TV and radio Saturday we will come and bring them to you it's remember fee what you say it's any say jam advance next week you know one of the aspirants no ebedi enkomo e wo fidie mu harmo in the course of the week no ebama mu hu twakra or ba Saturday on hot issues so na eno mo abedi enkomo you say there e be kra mo ankopon ka mo ho na omo mo ban Christ as me come akram